Wow.
Got him.
Wow.
Got him.
That's pretty interesting.
Got him.
That's pretty good, bro.
Got him. Let's go.
That's
Let's go.
good. Hey, he got that. He got that off. He did that.
You know, you've seen a lot of different crazy stuff over your course of your life, you know, the riots in '92 and everything. So as one of the only few people that I know of that's a black man living in America, a pro athlete, and somebody who's laced up the red, white, and blue and represented this country, like, what are your thoughts on how things are going? Like, what are your thoughts on like the NFL stances? Like, what do you think we're at as a country?
Well, we're in a tough situation as a country, but the good thing about it is that now people have brought to light the real facts and the true facts that have been going on that a lot of people were oblivious to. Some were oblivious by choice, some were oblivious because they just didn't believe it.
Right.
Now everybody understands and believes, and they understand the struggles that people go through when they say they're struggling.
Right.
And I know it's hard because I had to sit, I got friends that are sitting doing time in prison when there's people of the other race that got the same charges that are walking around free.
Right.
You know, and it's crazy because you want to do what you can to help. All you want to do is be equal. Be treated fair and equal. That's all. I'm not saying let my friends be off or whatever.
Like get a step ahead or whatever.
But don't treat them no worse than you treat the next man.
Right.
If a man rob a gas station, if he get 5 months in jail, this man then get him 5 months in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. So I'm not saying nobody's perfect, but at least treat people fair. And now, because of the camera phones and because of all the situations going on, people are seeing that this is not something that's just made up. I think a lot of people thought for a while that this is stuff that people just make up.
Right.
It's not something that people make up.
Because you're not going to see this in the suburbs or anything,
No,
obviously.
you're not. So people think it's just made up. You know, they're like, oh, it can't be that bad. Yes, it is. You know what I mean?
And you lived in both sides, right? You've been in the hood, you've been wealthy, you've
seen it all.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it
That's
all.
why I said your perspective is interesting, because you've been in every single side of this.
And it's like, for me, this is why I like sports, because in sports, we have to depend on everybody.
Right.
No matter what race or color, whatever they are, religion. If he on your team, you got to depend on him for his position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why sports teaches us all to come together.
Right.
America has taken away so many of the recreational things that we do to cause us all to socialize, that it's like you don't get to socialize much no more. So people continue to have hate because we don't do anything about it. First, we don't address the issue. Second, we take away the things that help resolve the issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
human touch and
you know,
look at somebody in the eye and seeing the pain in their eyes,
you can't
that kind
see
of
it
thing.
no more. You know what I mean?
Not on the internet, right?
No, you don't do it no more. So it's like you text now, you don't talk to people. I mean, it's just so different. So
that's like I heard somebody said, you know, with the internet, you get used to saying ridiculous things and not getting punched in the face for
because
it.
you can hide behind what you say, you know?
Right.
And that's not how reality really goes.
Right.
So.
There's consequences.
Yeah.
So if you were in the Olympics right now, do you think you would have kneeled? Do you think you would have done what you did already? Do you think, you know, because this is a weird spot. Like my buddy Devin Clark, he kneeled and raised his right fist during a UFC fight. You know, especially when we found out that the military was paying the NFL millions of dollars to put the flag out there for paid patriotism. When we found that out, I think that changed the discussion even more so because it wasn't real anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Everything they raising saying about banning the man from the NFL and all that over something that ain't even real.
Right.
You feel me? So and
because that wasn't even there before 2009 anyway.
Exactly. And the bad part about it was he could have sat down and not got up at all. He kneeled to show that I'm gonna respect it. I'm gonna at least kneel. I'm just not gonna stand up. That was showing a form of respect.
Right.
You understand me? And he ain't black or white, he mixed.
Right.
So it's like
he should have more insight, right?
He should. He does have more insight. He understands. He sees how both sides are treated.
Right.
So he just saying he's standing up for equality.
Right.
And people punish him for it, but look what happened. Look at the reality of it.
Right.
It's true.
So now he's vindicated 4 years later.
Of course,
Yep.
4 years later he finally vindicated.
Right.
You understand me? It took something like this for people to see that he wasn't saying screw nobody or F nobody.
Right.
He's just saying let's be fair.
But I think he said that. I don't think anybody really realized because I think he had done it for like 4 or 5 games. He was sitting down and nobody noticed.
And they said, no, let me just kneel. At least they give it some respect.
Right. So once somebody noticed, then some military guy came, I think, and he said, "Hey, would you kneel at least?" And he said, "Okay, I'll do that."
I'll do that. Exactly.
He was willing to meet in the middle.
Exactly. So that don't sound like a person that's hating nobody. He's
Right.
like, I'm just trying to get my point across.
Right.
I'm using what God gave me, which is my
platform. My body, my athleticism.
to get a point across. There's inequality treated in this country.
Right.
We still not being treated equal. There are people, and it may not have even been him.
Right.
He's standing up for ones that are being mistreated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like we stand up for people who are being mistreated.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Right, because you have the platform.
And then
Not all that many people have that platform to even say anything to begin with.
They don't. In this country, you know, it's like it's a shame that a man get in trouble, more trouble, for somebody saying he did something to a dog than a man does when they catch him on camera
Jump on
abusing a
dick.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They put him in prison for something that they said somebody said he did. They didn't catch him doing it.
Right.
Somebody said he did it.
Right.
But now this police, you caught him in the act, and you take 3 or 4 days before you arrest him, killing a person.
Right.
So you treating a person better than you treating an animal in this country.
Right.
An animal better than you treating a person.
Right.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And what's interesting to me is, I love dogs too, but at the end of the day, a lot of people love cows, a lot of people love other things, but we eat those things, we kill them all the time, right?
20 million chickens a day.
Right.
20 million chickens a day we consume.
Right.
But
and it seemed like the people of Atlanta, a lot of them cared more about the dog than the person being locked up in a box.
Because they're not paying attention to reality.
Right.
And the bad part about it is,
But there's coyote hunts all the time.
all the time.
You know,
And here's the other thing. When they send a person to prison, they don't care what happened to that person.
right.
You don't know what that man might go through when he go to prison.
Right.
But they don't care. But
Right.
they're so concerned about the dog that forget this person. We don't care what happened to him when we go to prison.
Right.
But we worry about this dog. We fight for this dog's rights.
Right.
But black people get treated worse than dogs do.
Well, then what it represented too at the time, right? So you had the biggest star in the league, black quarterback in a position that typically isn't black to begin with. And then the symbolism, after the dogs in the 60s, and I think a lot of people were just tone deaf to that tone. I said the same thing recently. They were pulling some black off a bus in Philadelphia for not wearing a mask. I said, you couldn't give him a mask? You couldn't just give him one?
It's simple.
You don't understand what
Simple.
the
Simple. But he can't have his own opinion, or own mind, or own thoughts trained because he's black.
right.
You know?
And I understand living in the now, but you have to realize, I think people don't realize what some of these symbols represent historically. You're taking somebody off a bus. What was one of the biggest civil rights moments of our history was a woman on a bus.
Exactly.
And
So you're going right back to the old school stuff.
were you ripping somebody off a bus
You
for not
feel me?
having a
You
mask.
right back to the old school, 100 years back again.
Right. And then they're like, what? Well, he needed a mask. Okay, well, you could have given him a mask. If you were really worried about this issue, the pandemic or whatever, you probably wouldn't want to touch him, right? You probably would have just said, sir,
We needed you to wear this mask, or
Right.
we ask you to leave the bus.
right. You don't have to grab him.
Give him
and pull
options.
off.
Sir, we need you to wear the mask, or we need you to leave the bus.
Right.
You understand me? It's simple as that.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because like you're talking about Colin Kaepernick. Like I'm biracial too, so I'm mixed race. But my races blend together a little easier. So I'm half Mexican, half white. So that could be Italian, Greek, whatever. So for me, it's interesting growing up in America, and especially in New Mexico, which is mostly Latino anyway. And this is the not knowing and not paying attention. We don't really have other people besides Latinos and whites in our state.
Right.
So we don't see any of this stuff. And if you're somebody like me, like for example, in my family reunions, I was always too white for the Mexican crowd, too Mexican for the white crowd. So I think it's hard for a lot of people that are mixed to really put themselves in other people's shoes because you don't have any of those experiences.
Of course.
So I think a lot of people, their eyes have really been open.
The cell phone has been a blessing.
I'll tell you what, because it was the same reaction after we saw the Rodney King in '92.
The cell phone.
I think about that was just the camcorders just came out '92.
Exactly. But to finally catch and see this, and what else they should do is do like other countries. In other countries like Australia, if the police does police brutality, you can sue him.
Okay.
You understand me? In Australia, you can sue him personally.
Not the city
No,
or
you
the
can
state.
hold him liable himself. You understand me? If he does police
I didn't know
brutality, yeah. In Australia, you can sue that police officer personally.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But in this country, they don't have that, and that's what our problem is. That's the first problem we get. Because
So you can sue your doctor, you can sue your fight from looter, you can sue everybody
But
else.
you can't sue the police. And
Can't
that's the
sue- or
first
judges
problem.
either, right?
And that's the first problem we got. You feel me? So that leads for.
So what do they call that? Is it something immunity or?
Yep. Something like that.
Yeah.
So
Because then if you sue the city, you're suing yourself
that's the first problem.
because you're the taxpayer.
Yep.
So you sue the judge, you sue the police, you sue yourself, basically.
But it shouldn't
Well,
be
that was like burning the police station down. Who's going to pay for it?
That's true.
We are.
Exactly. So, but if you get it to where you can sue the police officer.
That changes the game because now they have some
now
skin
he-
in the game,
Now
right?
he got to take care of himself. Now he got to be careful how he treat people. You feel me?
And you can't take early retirement.
Exactly. And all this, it's like to me, if a person's cooperating, why you got to handcuff him behind the back?
Right.
Put him in front of him if he cooperate. If he
Right.
do something wrong and he got to die, then he asked for that.
Sure.
But if he not that kind of person, can't come in front of his hand,
Right.
in front of his face. Don't put him all behind his back.
Yeah, that's a weak
It's a
position.
bad position. Then you
Yeah.
abuse him when you get him. Now of course you gonna kill him.
Right.
Come on, man. But nobody ever thinks about that.
And I think that's a question that a lot of us just don't have the experience with. So we were like, well, I would never get, handcuffed and thrown around for a $20 bill or something like that. But, what we didn't realize was this has been going on for 50, 60 years.
No, I realized it. We realized it. We as a black race realized it. Just some of the other people don't realize it because they
Right.
don't see it.
Right, we never
We
see
see it all the time. Listen, it was so bad when I was in high school. that I had to make a vow to myself that if that ever happened to me, I gotta make sure it don't happen to my kids.
Okay.
You understand? That's the vow you have to make to yourself.
Right.
Because I mean, it's unnecessary. So
Right.
it never happened to me, thank God, and I thank my community because people started to kind of open up and understand that I ain't mean no trouble to nobody.
Right.
But they don't see that with everybody.
Sure.
So it's like it's not fair that you understand with me, but you gotta understand. You gotta give everybody that respect.
Right.
Once you give them that respect, if they value that respect, then that's on them. But at least give them that respect. That's
Well,
all.
plus you've grown up in the South too. It's a
Yeah,
different experience. You know?
So all my boxers, they come out, I shoot them like Rocky. I make them kill chicken, right?
Okay.
All right, so you see a red right in the middle?
Uh-huh.
Go catch it.
That red one right there.
There's an orange right here. Go catch it.
This one.
Yeah, right here. Go catch it. Get it.
Okay. Is there any trick? Is there a
Just
secret?
grab. Just grab his leg.
Let's go.
Grab his leg. Grab his leg. Oh God.
I think I need some work.
I think you need a lot of work. I think you need a lot of work. You said it, brother.
I appreciate the hospitality.
brother.
Make sure Body Headbangers Volume 2.
Body Head Banger Volume 2.
Mike Tyson, do you want the seat? I don't know. What else we got out there? We got RoyJonesJr.com.
There you go.
Okay.
RoyJonesJr.com.
And promotions. We got fight promotions.
We got Roy Jones Jr. Boxing. We got Island Fights. We got Square Ring Promotions. And
Shout
we got
out.
RJJ Boxing Russia.
Russia.
Yeah,
Who knew?
I am also a Russian citizen. See, this is what I'm saying.
Citizen?
Yeah, I'm a Russian citizen.
Mr. Worldwide.
So you gotta be worldwide, cause see, this is my attribution to the fact that this is what Muhammad Ali taught me. All of us are the same. We're all somebody. We should all care for one another. We should all love one another because if we believe in God, no matter what religion we are, if we believe in God, then we should all be connected. We're all brothers and sisters. If you don't believe in that, then you don't believe in God. Then I don't know what to say about you.
Damn, wise words.
I appreciate it.
Might have to borrow your throne here for a minute since I made you touch your toes.
You deserve for 5 minutes.
All right, got 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes. You deserve for 5 minutes.
Shout out to Island Fights. Make sure to check out the website, YouTube channel, Island Fights. Photo bomb, go back. Oh.